Okay, here I am in it again. Ugh. Figured I would just go. I don't know why that was doing that, but we'll go with it, whatever. So, without further ado, I'll get the post planned. There we go, I can get that out of my life. Why does it always do that? So, we'll just pop that right there. So, anyway. Yep, pretty much just gonna let her take over and do the reads for tonight. And we'll just go from there. And of course, yep, it is open floor if deemed fit. And if I happen to not get anybody for a set period of time, I'll just end the thing early. But anyway, let's see. Change that, put that in the front. Kind of. Okay. If it works, then it works. And if it doesn't work, well then it can just get pushed off a cliff. For all I care. I think this thing might have like a delay in it or whatever. But anyway. Whoop. Hello, Artie. How are you this evening or whatever time zone it is for you? Oh, getting close for the crypto to be almost 400. Okay, let's see then. Looking at this, pretty much, this is the Eight of Cups, but you notice how she's looking upward, like in being like shocked, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know how to respond to this." So possibly, you might have in the past life regarding your spirituality, you might have been overwhelmed, or pretty much having so much help be put into something or some spiritual force, and you were somewhat pretty, I wouldn't say dependent, but you pretty much put a lot of your investment and energy into. So much to the point where you kind of actually put yourself in a way that you're turning your back on everything on the physical plane back then. Or even because since they're mutually looking at one another, and because she's on a ledge, the figure that you're most devoted to possibly could have been a goddess figure or a woman figure. I'm also getting the vibe of possibly being. Oh, here. I actually have a deck for that. Which one then? Fortuna. It could have been a goddess figure that was over fate, over the seasons, or over a dominion over, say, fortune. But because it's Fortuna and the fate, it could be the Fate sisters. It could be the Fates from Norse mythology. It could be the three sisters that have this. One has a spinning wheel. One is measuring the thread. One's spinning the thread. One measuring the thread, and one's cutting the thread. That could be one. What's another potential one? And the other one actually could have been an American Native spirit or an American Native goddess figure, such as Spider Woman or Deer Woman. Or it could be a very youthful goddess figure, like we're talking Bastet being one, or one that was actually very playful. And how is the connection now in this life? Is it strengthened? Has it improved? Decayed? It being the High Priestess, there's a indication that there has to be more listening to her, whomever it was. There has to be an understanding of being more silent and intuitive listening. So, like, being more in tune with this goddess figure, a really dark goddess figure for that matter. But as well, okay, now that we have the devil come out, we are kind of leaning more towards the more playful, flirty side. But it's also, don't allow yourself to become so bound by this figure and becoming so heavily reliant on her. Because when you become reliant on something and you need something, you won't be able to live without it, and you don't want to be like that. You want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, but still give acknowledgement to this figure. Because when you're doing it that way, it's actually healthy. So the best course of action is actually sit still, self-reflect, and actually ponder. And also do some journal work too. But don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't be going out there on the search for it. Just look within, and then you'll be able to best get it. Because once you just make sure you don't overly pursue that you become dissatisfied in pursuing her. Because once you actually look within and you find it, you'll be able to actually be unstoppable. You'll be able to actually connect to this goddess figure much faster and better than just how it was last life, if that makes sense. Hi. Hello, how do you say that? Ritka? Hello, this is Ritika. I think that's how you say it. So pretty much this goddess figure, you were pretty much having a high, how do you put this? Like a very high commitment to and having blind faith with. But at the same time, I'm good, Lissy. But having blind faith and having blind trust into something, don't get me wrong, that's a good thing. But this life, don't be so blindly trusting of whatever figure you go towards. That's the best thing I can get. And don't be bound up into having this entity be overly taking over your life, if that makes sense. Well, it's funny because, and also, well, let's see, because you've been here many times, I'm just going to give you this because I think you deserve it too. There you go. I think you deserve it. And Ritika, when will she get married? I mean, for Lilithian message, oh, I wonder how Lilith's going to say. Talk about that one. Okay, which one then? Okay. Of course, this one. So, tell me, Cardstock, when will I'm just gonna call you. Okay, Rika. That's how you just had to say it, kid. Rika. Keep it simple. Yes, ma'am. So, about this unionship thing. The general energy about this individual. He who's hung most. Well, apparently, it looks like the person that you're trying to, or the person that's going to be like your spouse figure, is actually in a position where they're stuck. In other words, well, they're not going anywhere. So that's a good and a bad thing. The good thing is that they won't be able to relocate or get away, but at the same time, they're kind of stuck in whatever situation they're stuck in. What is this stuck point? They're stuck in solitude. Because this depiction, we have a woman figure standing in ice. Give me three suggested courses of action for Ritka to actually do to get this frozen individual. Option 1. That's what I'm actually looking into, Ritka. So please let me just do the read. The best way is to also use your intuitiveness and actually trust within the self and let yourself guide you to it. Because, well, if you want to be technical, you can get married at any time you want to, hon. But if you really want to actually know and how to best actually go towards the right direction for it, simply just 1, trust within yourself and follow your intuitiveness and let your intuition take out the person. That's one way. Another way, keep yourself with your eyes open. Ace of Swords. Make sure that you're paying attention and being fully aware around you. Because when your eyes are open and your intuition's open, you'll be able to pick them out much more easier. Next one. Third course of action. Now we have along with the Ace of Swords, now we have the Ace of Twigs. Now because we have a fire and now there's a key, the best way is also make sure that you also are very lively in your approach when you're looking for this individual. Yes, I do. Lilith and Aquarius, I most certainly do. And I flaunt it every day. So let's see here. That's the events surrounding it, but when do we get some of this involved? Let's see. Double that one. Let's see. Well, we'll just go with one planet. We'll go with, let's see, where's the sun? That's a zodiac sign. That's not it. So hand me the sun, would you? Thank you. So potential marriage will be happening when Surya, the sun, will be in which sign? What sign will it be then? Surya will be in the sign of Sagittarius. Gonna be more specific. Do you want your marriage or not? Come on, honey bear. And also Chandra, the moon. Where is moon? Come here, you. And moon. Well, Cersei, I don't have a card for Cersei, and she's actually in my 12th house, so it looks like I lost Cersei, sadly. And what sign will moon be in? Now keep in mind, moon moves pretty fast, so moon will also be in the sign of, oh boy, Scorpio. So when the sun is in Sagittarius and moon is in Scorpio, and also I'll look up for Venus too. No, that will probably make it too difficult. So when sun's in Sagittarius and moon is in Scorpio, so that'll give you a general time frame. And then put that back in order. And actually, a lot of people will think, oh, Scorpio moon, that means it's debilitated and pissed off, right? Yeah, but the thing is, a little bit of a secret thing about debilitation that people don't talk about. Okay, the house. Will I become a powerful mystic in life? Well, the thing is, by technicality, anybody can be anything that they want to. And if you want to know when, well, the best time when is to actually just start going for it now. Because believe it or not, you can actually do everything that you are believing that you can do. You can just simply do it. But anyway, I will give you one for a general idea. Give me this thing. And Sabrina, I'll do you next, because last time when I was supposed to do you next, man, your neck got cut off, like it always does at 12 midnight. So, where to go? For house. Powerful mystic. Okay. I got a feeling if you have the willpower for it, then most definitely yes. Let's see. Will be a powerful mystic. Well, we have the sun. The sun brings life. Surya. I don't think I need to explain that one. Oh, well, you gotta keep in mind, my moon is like 3 degrees in front of my drunk Saturn, retrograde Saturn. Keep that in mind. And my Lilith is right behind my Saturn too, so it's just like, oh boy, here we go. So powerful mystic, most definitely yes. When? Well, this is going to be a funny way of putting it. Well, since this is the Ace of Cups, well, technically this can be started anytime that you're in water. And connect more to the water side. And really, to be more technical, you can actually start right now. Like I said, when doing tarot readings for a time frame, it's somewhat. Well, actually, let's see. It depends, because I mean, there's many ones that hold on the pants in the chart. There's many of them, but just whenever you decide to actually start your like actually really going into your spiritual pursuits or studying more of the water element, which is the emotional element, the spiritual element, the imagination element, the intoxication element, you get the idea. And since the next card out is the Knight of Twigs, make sure you're very relentless with it and don't back down from it. Hello, Michael. In your pursuit. Because if you burn out, you won't be able to make it. Because that's a downfall of the Knight of Twigs. He goes in hot and fast, but he gets distracted easy. Keep your focus. And now the Knight of Pentacles. So again, like what I just said, keep your focus. Stay firm on the rapid go. As a witch, how many magical powers and gifts will I have? Oh, here. Hello, Moon. Okay. For Sabrina. As a witch, how many magical powers does she have? hand me this one deck all the way over here. Because I feel this deck's actually very appropriate to use. And actually, to be honest, I don't like this deck. In all honesty, I do not like it. Point being is because, oh, here we go again with the devil card being a stereotypical bad card. Oh, the shadow side. Oh, God forbid. I just hate it when decks do that. But it's a bad card. No, every card's bad if you really look at it. I mean, look at the sun. The freaking baby's now holding onto the reins. He's about to fall and break his neck. How's that good? Okay, here we go. So, I haven't used this deck in a while too. So here to go. Okay, off with you. Here to go. So, what magical powers does? Well, that's actually sound a little bit weird. What kind of magic does Sabrina, definitely not teenage witch, have? I'm sorry, I just had to make that reference. I couldn't resist. So, tell me. Give me a total. Okay, fine. Here. First card that comes out is the amount of powers you have, like the number. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Worst kind of pun joke ever. So. We have the Empress, so that makes a total of 3. And the foundation for the Empress is essentially a nurturing, supportive, motherly, and also a grounded, practical way. And because since it's also Moon and Venus together in the same card, yep, one of the magical gifts you have is being able to actually bring something back to life, restore something that's dying, nurture something back to health. So healing, that's one. But pretty much the core is pretty much nurturing, healing, raising, attending, mending, any kind of healing work, blessing work, and also protecting because, well, again, the mother is very protective of the young as like a foundation. So then what are the other 3 gifts? First one, being able to stay focused. Knight of Pentacles. Now, but at the same time, Knight of Pentacles is very slow but precise. You actually might be able to have the magical gift of being able to provide sustenance to something, even though it might take a while for it to show up. Like say if you're doing a healing spell on someone, and if it takes a while for it to take effect, it'll be slow, but it'll actually be long-lived. So healing, again, is being overly emphasized. So hopefully you like being a white mage. Sorry, I couldn't resist the Final Fantasy reference. Slow, but precise in the ability of healing and nurturing and whatnot. And another one. Oh, boy. Here we go again with the healing again. Page of Cups. Well, being able to mend and heal the youth and the repressed side of somebody's emotions. So, like if somebody was not allowed to be a child, you're able to heal that. And as well, being able to also, okay, this is going to sound a little bit weird. Being able to enchant water, and then whenever somebody drinks the water, and based on how you chant it and give it the intention, it'll actually pretty much give them that intention. So, for example, this is a cup of water. I want this water to heal me. Heal me. There you go. Just like that. Except that's like very simplistic. But again, that could be taken the wrong way. So be careful with that one. So it depends on how you use it. So you're actually able to, again, since it's a page that's earth and water, you'll be able to enchant water and being able to give the intention and give it to somebody else to actually help them go towards whatever intention they want. Like for an example, if somebody's trying to weasel someone, just give them water, Okay, whenever this guy drinks it, he becomes irresistible to whoever the heck he's hooching about. Drink, it comes right through. Because whenever you drink something, especially water, mainly water or any other fluid, but mainly water because it's the most neutral and it's the most willing to get charged. Water, it gets taken and absorbed into the body, but then again, if you have too much of it, it'll just flush out. But when you drink water, it actually goes in and then it goes spread out through the whole body. Because 80% of the human body is water, and whenever water has something be put into it, it pretty much the water pulls all of it into itself. So enchanting water and then giving it to someone, that intention pretty much just goes all into them. So be careful. So be very careful with that one because that one can do a lot of crazy things. And then the last gift, water, and then we have. That's gonna sound interesting. Also being able to calm other people's emotions and being able to help them move past harder situations. So pretty much you can even also say a mental healer as well. So mainly water working, water enchanting, precise healing, even though it might be slow, it'll be precise, and also mental healing, getting people into a more calmer mindset. Really strong mending energy altogether, I have to say. So most likely, definitely being a healer, and also, again, the water enchanting is coming out loud, and I'm just going to keep saying it, water enchanting. So sing your heart out to a solo cup of water. Tell it what you want it to do, and then have whomever you deem fit drink it. But don't enchant it to be like, okay, when this twathead drinks it, he'll kick the bucket. Because he actually might kick a bucket, and not the bucket you want to have kicked. Next one. Boy, getting old. Oh. So let's see. Moon Enchantress. Which one is better for a path? Taoism? Well, let's see. Oh, yes, I do. All the way over yonder. I'm going to be using the, if you're like, oh my god, it's the Illuminati Tarot. Oh, keep your weave on. So anyway, Moon Enchantress wants to know Taoism or Tenderism. I don't know what the second one is, so I don't got much on that one. But anyway, let's go with it. So let's see. We'll just draw for, let's see, we'll have one card in the general standing right now, and then we'll have the Pathway Labyrinth come about from it. As you stand right now, we have she who has a lot of fruit and a bunny, Queen of Pentacles. Huh. In a way, she kind of looks like it too. Turkish. Or actually, no, wait. Look at that. Looks a little bit Chinese, a little. So current position. Well, we definitely know you're grounded and ready to actually nurture something and invest in something. So we go the route of Taoism first. Give me a total of 3. How will it play out? Mongolian. I like. Here we go. 1. If we were to go that route, we have 1, 2. Okay. I like how that played out. So, For the route of Taoism, we have in this order. At first, you'll be doing a lot of self-reflection, and you'll be watched by a divine figure while you're doing it. And when you're actually least expecting it. So you have a figure watch out for you. And you'll have to meditate a lot for that one. Then, you might have to prove yourself. You might have opposition on the spiritual side, maybe, or anybody else in the area. They might oppose you, or you might actually have to fight for it. Well, then again, when with the Four Swords being a meditative and focusing on that, you do have to fight your mind going, come back. You might have to be a little bit more hyper-focused for it. But in the end, there's your victory, the Six of Twigs. And then you actually are the one on the high horse, and everybody else is now looking up to you as a notable figure for Taoism afterwards, once you get through it all. Then the other one, the other route. Hear me again for 3. One has the result of victory. 1, the Knight of Cups. So this one is going to be a lot more faster. And you actually might be more... This route actually be more spiritually easier to get a hold of. It won't require as much meditative focus for it. You actually be able to use your imagination much more fluidly with it too. And also, you'll be dreaming a lot more powerfully if you go with this route. It's definitely going to change your life. The Tower comes through. What's going to be going out the window then? What has to be going? Throwing the lever out the window. What has to be out the window is the Six of Cups. So leaving behind false beliefs that did not work for you, or beliefs that were instilled in you. Those are going to have to fly out the window for this. But when they go out the window, you'll have the foundation for the Five of Pentacles. But now, again, a lot of people would freak out and be like, oh my God, it's the Five of Pentacles out in the cold all by myself. No. You'll actually be more appreciative of the path. Because the Five of Pentacles, even though it's a card of loss, it's also a card of having the reality there. And when you're in a position where you're not comfortable, you start to really appreciate the conveniences. So the path may give you a curveball and you may have to get rid of old belief systems for it. But then you'll be able to have the foundation to actually appreciate it more. And then the last one to come out. My card. F this deck. I quit. Nope, I'm done. Nope, we're done. I think the answer is clear. The answer is perfectly clear. I don't even need to tell you that anymore. Nope. It should be an obvious choice. The tenderism. Easily, tenderism. Because I'll explain it again. You'll be able to move through, you'll be able to actually practice it in a way that's more vivid and quicker. And you'll be able to do it in a more imaginative way. You might have to have a sudden, oh snap will happen. You have to get rid of an old way of thinking and an old belief system that you were brought up with, or a view of life that has to go away. So that way you learn to appreciate what this pathway is teaching you. And then at the very end, you become the best possible state you can ever be in. The literal best. Like, you cannot get any better than this. Perfect state of being. So perfect that it cannot be tainted. So yeah. Tenderism. Heartbeat. So, okay, now listen. Should you go to my friend's room tonight, or is it a setup? Well, when in doubt, bring a gun. Be like, oh, girl, I knew you had some kind of BS going in here. Good thing I brought my 12 gauge. Oh, not 12 gauge. I'm going to grab a drink right quick, so give me a second. Let me grab something to keep my voice from drying out. Alright, I have returned. So, about the friend possibly doing a setup. Give me let's see here. Let's go with one that's cutesy, but not as cutesy. We'll go with one right down the middle. Give me Bren Lux. Ow! So, Bren Lux. Get out of the way. Get out of here. Don't have anything else in my way. Okay, we're good. Alley-ope. Get in there. Well, I guess if that counts. And I don't know, like, whenever, like, we're gonna have, like, real talk for a second. Here, keep that back open. Whenever I see any guy, like, I'm not even kidding. This is honestly, like, one of the biggest pet peeves I have. And this is coming from somebody who's one of the magical flaming kind. Whenever I see, stay right there. Whenever I see some guy do this and try to be, like, trying to flaunt his muscle, I'm thinking, that's it? Really? Oh, trust me, I've handled probably 10 times the size of that. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not really. I don't really become nice when, people try to woozy woo me like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I can completely understand when somebody's like, "Oh, I just want to flaunt myself." Well, go ahead and do it, but you're really gonna have to, you're gonna have to survive in just one encounter. Or like what when they actually flaunt the gun around, like, "Hey, look at this thing! Oh wow, nice pea shooter. That's impressive." And trust me, definitely, I've taken and caught bigger bullets than what those shoot. Take that however you deem fit. So anyway, what should I know now? What must be known? What should be known? What does Lizzie must know? Boom. Well, looking at this, looks like we're going back to, Kidland. So possibly, first off, it's really saying take a look back at the childhood and remember something that's really deep and just innocent. But when you take a look back through these nostalgic feelings, make sure you are now, when you're caught between when you're actually taking a look back at this nostalgia, and when you're actually caught in a fork in the road, when you're remembering back. Oh, well, look at that. Maybe that might be a sign to. Oh, actually, you know what? Here, let me flip the script. You're caught between a rock and a hard place. Make a choice to go towards memory lane, because when you have a friend that actually shows history, or go down with history, or go Hong Kong Fooey F it. Nope, gonna go my own way. I got control of this. So you have a choice to make. Friend or get out of my way, pony gone wild way. Friend way, you get probably ditched. 3 of Wands with, get over here. 3 of Wands with, I don't know. I don't even, oh God. Temperance. So probably, even though you might get ditched, you actually might make a beautiful canvas art yourself. But if you go Hong Kong Phooey by yourself, up 1111, that makes it the number 4. We have nothing for 4 yet. So, if we go with the cherry route all by yourself, well, you have a Ace of Swords with a Falcon. You have crystal clear clarity, and you know exactly where to go with. And with that clarity, you actually will be able to be more of an entertainment. You'll be able to make more money and be more balanced with your clarity. What is the... Okay, how about this? What is the external then regarding this situation, like the other party? How do they stand right now? Well, it looks like they have somebody with them. A lot, yeah. They're probably right now with somebody who's very nurturing, and they're kind of cold right now, and also a bit aloof. So let them have their cupcake, I would say, and just pick up your Ace of Swords and go crazy Hong Kong Phooey with it, and get them coins coming in with performing. That sounds so weird and vulgar, but anyway, actually, artwork can be good. Uh-oh. Well, hey, never know. You never know. But he might have like a motherly, nurturing influence with him. Maybe. Nah. Maybe, you never know. But still. What's next? Okay, where we go? Where we go? Okay, Michael's question. What is wisdom? Okay, I think we're actually going with the actual theme of the reading here. Lilithian reading, thank goodness. So hand me the... Fine. Something's holding you back. Please kill it. Stop being just... Stop trying to balance things out and negotiate things that you don't want to negotiate. Because possibly you were probably negotiating things. You gave your end of the stick and you never got it back. So... Oh, you were the next one on the list. My bad. My bad, Dementia. I'm going to put this one onto the side then. So, Michael, that one will be yours in a second. That was my mistake, so here, hand me... Oh, not that close. Give me the... If anything, Missy, I would actually take a piece of shungite. So that way any negativity gets on you gets filtered. Okay. Oh no, that was Michael's, but it's okay. You were there first, so it won't be that long. So how will she be... Wait, where to go? What will life be when 50? Okay, here we go. Life will be a dream. Why did I get that song stuck in my head? And I can't get it out of my head. Ugh. That's the thing when you have like something make you remember oldies music. And also like my grandparents would do that too. How will life be when 50? 1. Well, because looking at this, it's pretty First off, life might be alone, but the thing is, you notice how she's dressed in that beautiful red dress and she has a dog with her? It actually might be very adventurous, and you'll be more comfortable in your skin. You also might have a loyal friend or a natural pet alongside you, and you'll be able to experience and just wander around in an environment where you're actually curious to take a look into. So life will be more interesting. You'll be more confident in your skin, and you also have a friend accompany you as one. Number two, you'll actually be ascending to a new point in your life. You actually might be putting an end to something and then ascending to the next level. You'll be ending it with, like, pretty much you'll be leaving the Six of Pentacles, which is pretty much being financially fair, but not too much, not too little. So that could be a sign that maybe you may not be really taking more than you should, and actually being just too fair for everybody else and not putting yourself as the number one priority, maybe. Well, I mean, it's kicking the bucket, and that's having the end happen, so who cares with that one, right? And you'll have the Chariot. And this depiction is actually a chariot being driven by somebody who's actually, no, that's not a casket, but it's the chariot. So you'll be more able to travel a lot more. And you actually have two other individuals help you get to wherever you want to go to, especially with that three of wands. And since the Three of Wands has the companion figure with it being the dog, you might actually have a loyal friend alongside you. And the last clarifier, you'll have the Magician. Pretty much you'll be able to take full control of your life and tell exactly how it goes. When you bring the above, the Emperor above, when you start becoming the full-on authority, the final say, and you say, nope, it's going to be like this, and only like this, no ifs, ands, buts, or tushies about it. It's going to be like this. If you don't like it, well, piss and stick it. This is my life. This is how it's going to go. Once you start bringing that in, you'll be then, oh, look at that. When you have the Emperor above, as above, so below, you shall become the Empress. Could not do that again if I tried. So when you have more authoritative and command and expectation for how your life's going to play out, the more you become the queen. And you know what they say about the queen in the kingdom? You never tell her no. And the queen can always live without the king. Always can live without the king. But can the king live without the queen? No. Because the queen gives him purpose to live. And in reality, the queen is the one who has the full say in the kingdom, not the king. Because also the queen's his backbone. Without her, he has nothing. So, life after 50. More adventurous. And you'll be going from a state where you're kind of just being overly fair financially, but not too, you're pretty much going to be comfortable. But that's going to be ending. And then the new way is going to be able to go wherever you want to go without any limitations. And you have full power and control to have it to be however you want to. You just got to be more set in stone, commanding, and saying, this is happening now. And then from that, you become the Empress, the Queen. But it looks good to me. Life after 50 will be majestic. Okay, now, Michael, let me get back to that. Get over here. Oh, yeah. Where'd it go? Well, wherever it went, right in front of my face. Mm-hmm. Okay, now back over here. Now this way. Hello, Kelly. Okay, then after... Oi! Okay, then after Michael will be Food abroad. So Michael, as soon as I said your name right there, she's like, okay, give me the cards again. Fine. Okay. Something has to, get killed. Something has to die. Like stab it to death. And what has to die is trying to be negotiable to other people and other things, especially when you've negotiated with them many times and you never got your fair share of the bargain, but they did. Yeah, that needs to die. There has to be an ending to this false negotiation because it's not really negotiating and being fair to you if you have to keep sacrificing yourself for somebody else and you get gypped. Yuck. And yep, here we go. Then there's the Nine of Pentacles. So trying to negotiate, that has to kick the bucket. But then what needs to be rising up from the dead pigeon guy is being able to be self-reliant on the self and putting the self first. What is the potential pitfall for him bringing back that Ten of Swords again? Potential pitfall. Being blinded by an illusion, especially when you've overcome it. Don't let yourself get tricked into turning around and going back to being deceived by somebody else's narrative. And especially if it's something like if somebody's trying to make you feel guilty about being like, oh, I gotta put myself first, then they're trying to throw illusions at you. Be careful with that. Don't let them do that. Your best course of action. Your best 3 courses of action. 1. Don't be afraid to be a little deceptive and daring. And also a little bit tantalizing and equivocating. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to do that. Because you're going to be tested to see if you can handle it. If you can handle it, you'll be moving far, far away from those individuals into a more supporting water. But if you don't make it, you'll actually be stuck on the ground with your wings clipped. We don't want you with your wings clipped. Yep. Now the 8 of Swords. Don't pitfall back into that. You've tried to negotiate and give a fair share for these other people. They just haven't delivered. And they're just not reliable. Maybe you're on the call with that 10 of Wands. So start putting yourself first. And your well-being is non-negotiable. It has to be done. Nope, I'm still going. Next step is food abroad. Reading on should move into this apartment just to get approved or for wait or a better one. Food abroad, what do we got here? Give me this one. But definitely not showing dumpster off. Current standing for the apartment. Nine of Wands. So the current standing is actually walls up, secure, but again, there's a desire to actually look elsewhere at the same time. There's security here with the one you're at, but you kind of feel it's just not what you thought it was. It's like it's kind of dissatisfactory. If you were to leave it, you'd be getting 3 of Swords. And then the 6 of Swords. Yeah. If you leave this place for somewhere else, you actually might get something might happen that might hit you on the emotional level, and it might wound you, and you might be forced to have to just go. But then the figure that's standing above the two, he's not really looking at them. He's not really thrilled. Best course of action, the devil. Now don't be thinking like, oh gosh, not the devil, I'm being cursed. No. The devil, Ace of Cups, and Justice. So, best course of action, to simply put it. Where you're right now, enjoy it. Live life, live it hard. Like Chris Farley. Enjoy it while you have it. Replenish yourself and actually be more spiritually enhanced in the home. And there's a fountain nearby or anywhere close to it. Spend more time with it or around it. But make sure you don't overindulge and you don't get overly too engulfed in enjoyment. Make sure it's balanced and practical. Because this place is actually balanced for you. Even though you might feel dissatisfied, it's really balanced for you. Then again, there's the death. To actually not wanting to actually go anywhere. To actually not wanting to be in a place. Because once you go through this, the death of being closed off from it will go. So I would have to say the apartment I got right now, 3 of Pentacles. Cooperation. It'll be good to cooperate with the building that you have right now. Okay, so after Fruit Abroad. Okay, then Mika is my last one on the list. So anybody else after Mika? I'm sorry. So after that, okay. For Kelly, is Kevin the love of your life? Which deck should I use then? Why that one? Okay. No, it wasn't that. Oh, you're very funny. Give me that. So for Kelly, is Kevin the love of her life? Okay, we'll just do the 4-card. Definitely not planned, by the way. So we'll go and do the general standing for him, the mental, physical, and emotional, and then the next 3 steps of action he's going to take. General standing for, what's his name? For Kelly. You're asking about Kevin. So, Kevin. We have 4 of Pentacles. Well, this depiction, it looks like we have a woman in black who's kind of in solitude by herself. But the good thing is, she's in a corner. So pretty much, generally, there's this awareness of like, well, I have no other options. I have no other choice. I'm pretty much stuck with this because back in the corner. Stuck in a corner. They can't go anywhere. So Kevin's stuck in a corner generally. Can't go anywhere, and he's pretty much going to be in a position where he's going to have to accept it. On the physical, Queen of Swords. Now, with this one, this Queen of Swords is not a sassy one. This one's actually really in tune with holding the blade. She's not aggressive with it. She's actually using it like an instrument. So on the physical plane, he may be a little bit aloof, but he's also really trying to actually communicate with you in a way that's precise, but also having some emotion attached to it. But it does have this aloofness to it. So in Kevin's head, he mentally has Ace of Twigs. Yep. There's definitely, it's also looking towards the left, so it's going that way to the other cards. Most definitely, he does have, some thoughts of wanting to do something, you know, with inspired action. That's the only way I'm going to put it. He has thoughts of it like, I really want to handle this. By handle, you can take that however you deem fit, but you get the idea. There's a lot of willpower behind him. Then for the emotional, cheesy, woozy wooey, probably the most important part of the whole spread. The wet part of him. Do I dare say more? That is the King of Cups. I think that pretty much seals the deal. What's his next course of action? Give me 3. First step. First step, he will be actually waiting for you. He won't be really moving. And he might actually be a bit sad. Or he might be acting a bit more depressed and in a melancholy state. Or maybe he might be longing for you. But he feels alone. Next step. Oh, man. 2 5s. Pretty much alone, solitude, and pretty much hoping for a miracle. I think we can definitely kind of see where this is going after the third step. 8 of Wands. What have triggered that 8 of Wands to happen? An oh snap moment happens. So, what happens with this oh snap moment? What falls? Falling is the King of Pentacles, trying to be too realistic, practical, and trying to focus on things that are in like external instead of internal. So that King of Pentacles kicks the bucket. And the new foundation is a very merry birthday to you. Sorry, I just had to because his Mad Hatter. The new foundation actually has you pretty much starting up a closer friendship and actually having a lot of more fun. And that's how that 8 of Wands gets triggered. Something happens and goes, oh snap. The being realistic and practical goes out the window. And now a more emotional friendship, heartfelt connection actually starts blossoming more and more and more. And a more playful one of that. And then there's the sun. Happiness comes through. Do I dare say more? So, Kelly, if I had to say so, yes. Most definitely. Okay, then huge proof. Who is the soulmate and when will I meet her? Well, I think probably the best way to find out. Let's do it this way. Hand me the astrology cards if you would. So the best way to figure this one out. Let's go with hand me Surya, Chandra, okay, we're going to have the ground, the wetness, the glow in it, then the flame in it. Okay. So, the individual for the sun. They will have a There will be a fire sun sign. There will be a fire sun sign. So Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. So then moon. they will have a blowing sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air sign. So they'll have a fire sun and a air moon. That's pretty much the main big details that I got from that one. So look for a fire sun, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. And for the moon, look for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius for the moon. And you can even also say, possibly when the sun's in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or when moon is in Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. But because the moon's faster, possibly whenever moon crosses into any of those air signs, that's probably when you might actually see her more likely, because the moon's the feminine energy. And since you're inquiring about a female, default with the moon one. And it doesn't matter if it's waxing or waning, just whenever the moon's in an air sign. Or if you want to be extra technical, whenever moon is in, okay, this is going to be quite a list. Whenever moon is in Barney, which is Aries, but in the constellation of Barney, the nakshatra of Barney, Purva Falguni and Purva Shada. Those nakshatras. You can also see potentially her coming from that. Or even Rohini, Hasta, and Solavan. At least that's what I got. Here's proof. And last but not least for Mika, what must be said? And then after this, I have to catch some Z's because I'm tired, exhausted, and I have another project I have to work on. Okay, here we go. I'm using the definitely not Goetia Tarot. It is the Goetia. Okay, here we go. We're bringing in the left-hand divines of this one. Yay! I love these guys so much. Don't be hating on them. Okay, one needs to be said for Mika. Okay, here we go. I'm using quite an advanced deck here, but hold my wine glass. Here we go. 1. We have Murmur. Venus in Sagittarius, the Empress, the Sphinx. Most definitely, this would be a phenomenal time to actually really find beauty in higher intelligence and higher learning, and also really trying to decipher riddles. Like riddles that are really open-ended and even paradoxical. This is actually a really opportune time for that. And then we have Strength. Ibis, Jupiter Guru in Cancer, that is in the exaltation position. So while you're learning about these riddles and all these other things, these higher forms of intelligence and trying to find beauty in them, don't be afraid to be a little bit whimsical and silly with it and playful. Because Ibis is known to have a stereotypical thing attached to him with being a silly goose. But with Ibis, be a bit more carefree with it too. Don't be afraid to let your ecstatic child out when you're learning about these riddles and trying to decipher them. Don't be afraid. Let it out. Let it be intrigued. Let it go. Ooh. However you do with that, just do whatever you deem fit with that. And last but not least, we have Ibis, Page of Pentacles, Mars and Gemini. So definitely consider being with more grace and poise, because Ibis is seen to be a snake figure. And whenever you're trying to communicate what you've learned to other people, don't be too giving with it. Be a little bit, I don't know if I should tell you this. I don't know if you should. Yeah, think about it. Be a little bit intoxicating with it. Like tease them. And naturally, you might be able to make some money from it too. And give me one more. You'll do. And Furcos, the Hermit, Shunny in Sagittarius. Oh, look at that. This just made me get giddy. You have Venus and Shunny, Sagittarius right here. You have Saturn there and then Venus there, both Sagittarius. That is actually a yoga. That's actually a really potent yoga for wealth. So, being in solitude when you're actually really studying these higher forms of text and going about in a way that's playful, and also not really being quick to give it to other people and actually even protecting it, you'll actually be provided more wealth with it if you go about it that way. And yeah, be protective with it because that's the ray, moon in Gemini. Now you have Mars and Moon. No, yeah, Mars and Moon together in Gemini. So the mind becomes very active, but pushy and feisty, but extremely, talk about lustful too. But most definitely, you're in a position right now to really learn about topics that are higher philosophies and the such, and just go about them in a way that's carefree and kind of like childlike. But don't give it out to other people. Be a little bit coy with it and protective. Because when you do, and you actually do contemplate on it, you actually start getting a lot of wealth from it. But anyway, I'm exhausted. I need to take my time on this other project to make sure I do it right. I got to fly away. Where am I? Oh, I'm sitting on it. No wonder. So I'm going to take my leave here. I'm going to fly away. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you next time.